What's up again there, guys? Bring here the three topics I'm here to share with you my official movie review for a movie that I absolutely love. I literally just got back from seeing the 20th anniversary in the re-release of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. I actually am coming back from my second viewing of it. I was really excited for this release, so I actually paid to see it 3 times over 3 different days, and I ended up only going to 2 of those days. I skipped day 2 for certain reasons, but I literally just got back from seeing it in 4DX, which I will be sure to talk about because it was quite an experience. So like day 1, I saw it with my friend John, and we saw it just in a regular theater. Then day 2, I paid to see it in D-Box, but I decided to just kind of skip it because when I found out kind of really what 4DX was, like I had already paid for my D-Box like ticket, so I didn't know what 4DX was. But like once I found out what it was, I was like, oh, I don't really have to go the second day because third day is like a much bigger experience. But I just wanted to share my overall thoughts on just this movie and everything I liked about it, and then just my experience of what it was like seeing it in 4DX. So if you do happen to enjoy this review by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to track me on future movie reviews and video game reviews and just ranking and just reaction videos in general. So, Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith was released, I believe, May 19th of 2005. I was 14 years old, and I'm 34 now, so boy, does that make me feel old. And I'm someone who grew up with the prequels as the first one came out when I was 8, and like many people, I was actually one of the... I was not aware that the prequels were hated back then, but I think it was just because I enjoyed them, like outside of Attack of the Clones, which has like a lot of problems, and a lot of problems that even I could recognize back then. But just going back to Revenge of the Sith, this is obviously probably the most enjoyed entry of the prequel trilogy. This one kind of actually reveals the final transition of Anakin finally turning to the dark side and becoming Darth Vader. It shows how the Jedi were wiped out, how the Empire was established, how certain characters unfortunately didn't make it, as to why we don't see them in the original trilogy. And overall, I still love this movie. This is, to this day, without question, it's easily in my top 10 favorite films of all time. Top 5 probably most watched movies. I have certainly seen this movie more times than I've probably seen every other Star Wars I have seen combined. I have this on DVD, I have this on Blu-ray before Disney acquired it. So I have like multiple different copies of it. I have the video game on PlayStation 2. I have multiple different lightsabers from the film. I absolutely love this film. Now, it's not perfect. There are a couple of flaws, but overall, I just think that the reason I really enjoyed seeing it in theaters again was it was nice kind of seeing it with a crowd that had a better appreciation for the prequels. I think now that about 20 years has passed, I think the prequels are looked very different now than they were back then, because the kids that really enjoyed it back then, they are now the adults. And so I was actually surprised that in both my showings, there were a lot of kids there who obviously would not have been alive when it originally came out. So it was a really nice feeling. It was nice also seeing it in much kind of higher quality, and it was wonderful seeing it on the big screen again at least twice, because as many times as I've seen this film, what I found surprising is that when you see it in a theater, you happen to notice things that you wouldn't notice, and it was quite amazing. Like I've seen this movie so many times, and yet when I saw it in theaters, there were little things in the background that I never noticed before, and that in itself changed my entire viewing experience. In fact, knowing everything we know, especially watching all throughout the Clone Wars series, watching that and just knowing what these characters had gone through, gave me a better understanding of what my thoughts were going into this film, different than how it was when I was younger. And so I could say now, with everything that has happened, including more like stuff that has been added to the Star Wars franchise, I found myself actually enjoying this film perhaps even a little bit more than I did when I was younger, and that's a great thing. I think a lot of the action scenes, absolutely fantastic. I thought a lot of the acting is really good. There are a couple of wonky dialogue scenes. Some of the visuals still hold up. Like I'm surprised. Like this movie is 20 years old, and this movie still looks absolutely fantastic. And this is just a fun movie to watch. Now, going into my 4DX experience, essentially it's the equivalent of watching this in like a dark ride. but like there's a number of elements that are happening around you. So not only is your chair vibrating, like if you see a scene where like water splashes, well, the chair kind of like water will splash on you. If you enter a scene where it's raining, it'll actually rain in the theater. If you're in a scene where it's hot, when we go to Mustafar, the room actually got hot, and you could actually smell burning, and so it added this like extra layer of immersion it added an extra element of immersion that I had never really experienced in any other film before. I mean, I think I've only seen one film in D-Box, and that was probably Tron Legacy, which I felt was appropriate when I saw it back then. But like seeing it now, like even that first opening battle scene above Coruscant, I mean, well, that was one heck of a ride. And trust me, a lot of these vibrations were pretty rough, and everyone was just having a great time. And seeing it with a good crowd always enhances your overall experience. And so overall, and I also picked up the poster, which was an absolutely beautiful poster. And I actually did have a hard time getting the popcorn buckets. And here's the thing about the popcorn buckets. I think moving forward, when people release these popcorn buckets, they need to have a limited amount that they can sell per day. Because apparently all of these buckets were sold out everywhere across the city, like Thursday night, which wasn't fair. So if you came in Friday, Saturday, or even today, Sunday, they were long gone. I think they need to change their policy in terms of how many buckets they can sell per day, because it's not fair to the rest of us that can't see them on Thursday nights, which is ridiculous. I mean, I managed to buy one of the 2 popcorn buckets, but I had to do it directly from the website, and it'll be here like I believe in 2 weeks, and I probably will end up having the little Darth Vader cup and the other popcorn bucket somewhere off of eBay for like, I don't know, like $70, $80, which I'll probably end up paying. But overall, I just absolutely love this film. If you do happen to find a theater that plays in 4DX, I would highly recommend it. However, I was surprised that in the entire city of Las Vegas, there was literally one theater that had it. That is surprising. But if you can actually find a theater that does place in 4DX, even if it's like an hour drive, I would still do that. It's definitely a very unique experience, especially if you've never experienced 4DX before. I would highly recommend it, and it was definitely well worth the price that I paid for it. But overall, just Star Wars Episode Revenge of the Sith. I still absolutely love this film. Again, has some minor flaws, but I think it's a film that even after seeing it in theaters, I'm still going to go back and probably watch it at least a few times a year. Every year till the day I die. So, but if I had to give like just a general rating, I would easily give Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith 4.5 stars out of 5. I mean, some of the flaws kind of hold it back from being a 5-star film, but like I think 4.5 out of 5 is still pretty damn good. So that is just kind of my overall semi-review plus description of my 4DX experience. If you happen to see Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith in the 20th anniversary release in your theaters, let me know, what did you think? Are you someone who actually saw it when you were younger, and now that you see it now, your opinions about it have changed? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you guys next time.